Hi, imagine you're a 13-year-old kid again. You're in middle school. It's already a confusing and awkward time. You step into class and sit down, and you try to ignore the whispers. Your phone buzzes. You take a look, and it's a message from someone you thought was your friend telling you about how ugly you look today. It's mean and it's hurtful. And this feeling follows you around through all your classes, through lunch, and not just at times when you're looking directly at your phone. There's no escape. This is cyberbullying. And this is a reality for almost half of American teens today. Cyberbullying is connected to lowered self-esteem, anxiety, anger, frustration, and even thoughts of suicide. Long term, it correlates into social problems, substance abuse, and delinquent behaviors of kids who experience it. These are not just statistics, these are our children's lives. As a father of a 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old girl, I have seen this unfold firsthand. I have seen the fear in their eyes when they read something hurtful online and have felt powerless to protect them. That's why I stand here today. There need to be federal laws and statutes in place to prevent and combat cyberbullying. Today, I will tell you about how widespread cyberbullying is, the severe effects it has on our kids, and how federal laws could make a real difference in protecting them. Let's start by understanding what cyberbullying is and how common it really is. Cyberbullying isn't just a one-off online insult. It's harassment that uses digital technology to harm someone. This can be sending messages, sharing embarrassing or harmful images, spreading lies, impersonating someone else online, and nowadays even from generative AI used to humiliate someone. In fact, a 2022 survey by the Pew Research Institute found that 46% of US teens report experiencing at least one form of cyberbullying, such as name calling or harassment. Within that group, 28% reported experiencing multiple forms of cyberbullying. These behaviors aren't rare, they're common. Knowing how frequently it happens helps us realize that this isn't just a kids being kids issue. It's a widespread issue in our society and it demands our attention. Cyberbullying isn't just hurtful words on a screen. It has serious emotional and psychological consequences. Research published by JAMA Pediatrics shows that cyberbullying is associated with increased levels of depression, anxiety, and distress in our youth. The nature of digital communication, which is public, permanent, and easily shared, means harmful content can follow a kid everywhere, making emotional wounds harder to heal. Some teens show trauma-related symptoms much similar to PTSD. These experiences don't just affect children momentarily, they can negatively influence academic performance, social development, and long-term mental health. Cyberbullying creates a climate of fear for many kids. They worry about what might show up on their screens next, and that anxiety doesn't go away at the end of the school day. Now you might be thinking, isn't this just kids being mean online? Or don't parents and schools have responsibility enough to handle this without more laws? But the data shows that cyberbullying isn't trivial and isn't occasional. It affects nearly half of all teens and leads to serious mental health issues. And because the internet is everywhere and can happen everywhere, it can follow kids around everywhere. Parents and schools don't have the tools or authority to enforce consistent protections nationwide. What we need is a federal legal framework so that children, regardless of where they are, have legal protections and pathways to safety and healing. Right now, how cyberbullying is treated from state to state varies drastically. Some states include cyberbullying in their anti-bullying legislation, and others do not. This kind of patchwork leaves significant gaps in protection and enforcement. Federal laws could establish clear definitions of cyberbullying behaviors, uniform legal consequences across the country, requirements for digital platforms to implement better safety tools and reporting systems, supports for schools and families to educate, prevent, and respond to incidents, and also provide funding for mental health services for victims. Instead of every school district fighting their own battle, federal laws can ensure that children have equal protection and support no matter where they live. Wouldn't you like your child to have protection not just in your town but everywhere they go in life? Cyberbullying is a widespread problem. It affects nearly half of all American teens and takes a real emotional toll. Cyberbullying causes psychological harm. Victims can experience depression, anxiety, and lasting trauma. And current laws are inconsistent and incomplete. Without federal standards, many children and victims fall through the cracks. So today, I ask you to take action. Support efforts to pass federal legislation that defines cyberbullying, holds perpetrators accountable, and ensures safer online spaces and provides support to victims. Because if we don't act now, our children will continue facing emotional harm with unequal protections from state to state. But if we do act, if we stand together for consistent federal laws, we can create a safer digital world for our kids. A world where they can grow, connect, and thrive without fear of harassment following them everywhere. Thank you.